Here's another quick video I found, and I had shared this with you guys probably a while back. Some of you might remember, but this it's 1 minute. Just listen to this really quickly to show you the impact of these habits.
What insane stat lives in your head rent free?
That 98% of your life is controlled by habit. Makes you think twice about what free will is, right? This is your mind. You have something called a subconscious. And in here, you can only accept information. This is where your programming is. And some people have a program called smoking. Some people have a program called poverty. Some people have a program called success and happiness. Some have a program called wealth. And your environment has more to do with your programming than does your genetics. You are programmed to live the life that you live. If 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are habitual, that means that the habit or the paradigm that controls that habit controls everything in your life. And if you want to change your life, you've got to learn how to change that paradigm. Follow.
98% of our life run by habits. These are some of the passive habits that Robert Greene's talking about, some of the active habits, the things that are unconscious to you, the things that you just do, that we just do without even thinking. That's why we get the outcomes that we get in life. Subconscious mind gets programmed. It doesn't know what to believe or not to believe. It creates our habits. It creates what we choose to do. We repeat those things over and over and over again. So you ever felt like you're in a rut? You ever felt like you're not moving forward? You ever felt like you're kind of stuck in the same spot? You ever feel like you kind of feel the same things, experience the same things? If it's not one thing, it's another. You ever hear those sayings? Because, right? It's habit. It's our mindset. It's the unconscious, the subconscious mind, right? It's what we allow in. It's what our passive habits become. Right? Robert Greene talked about these passive habits of scrolling on social or eating similarly or, right, doing similar activities that may go towards escapism or something that you feel like might be relaxing or whatever the case is. This is what's happening in society. Our society is being lulled to sleep by passive habits that are not getting us to the life that we want, to create the things that we want. So we have to be able to learn how to change, how to unlearn some things, relearn some things, reprogram ourselves, and put in some better habits in our life. That's the key. And Robert Greene talked about it. He talked about, right, taking baby steps day by day, eliminating a little bit of the passive habits that are not serving us and adding in, that's the part, adding in an active habit. An active habit is something that forces your brain to work, to learn, to grow. Have you learned a new language? Have you picked up a new hobby? Have you tried something that you're no good at, that you are actively getting better at? Some of you are in business with us, so you know, right? This is actually the process of getting into the financial services industry or in business in general, is because your brain has to be active to learn something new. When naturally society says do the passive thing where your brain is being right, it's not working in the same way. So that's why it's a challenge for some people to pick up a new skill set at 35, at 45, at 55. It's kind of because that's not been our MO. But if we want to get to the life, remember, this is for us. If we want to get to the life where we don't need a break from it, we want to design our ideal life, we got to learn how to do some of this stuff. And it all comes down to our habits. In our text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets says champions are products of their habits. We're all products of our habits, right? It says here, average performers think of habits as something to break, like smoking or eating too much. Professional performers know successful habits are the keys to the kingdom. Each and every day, the great ones reinforce their success habits, such as exercise, proper diet, showing up early, staying late, and studying their field. Champions have a sacred respect for the power that habits exhibit in their life. The pros know if they allow their championship habits to slip for even one day, the habit will begin to atrophy. The gray ones know it's more difficult to develop a championship habit than it is to lose it. They understand that the magnificent force of momentum can work for or against them. As a result, they tend to protect their success habits with an almost religious fervor. Champions are keenly aware of how their habits impact every area of their life. Because they always look inside themselves and listen for answers, average people are oblivious to success habit formation unless the pain from an unhealthy habit becomes too great. Habits are the raw materials from which the great ones are made. It's habits. When I read this, and I told you I had some other content for you, I couldn't find this one, but I just watched it. So this is a sports thing, right? If you follow any type of sports, I watch basketball here and there. LeBron James and JJ Redick have a podcast. I just watched episode 7 yesterday, and they talked about this specific thing. LeBron is in the off season now, but it's the Olympics. He said, hey, I'm going to take the month of May off, but then I'm going to get right back into the gym because I don't want to go into the Olympics not doing anything for 2 months like I normally would. JJ Redick jumped in and said, exactly. I remember when he was playing, he was like, if I didn't keep up my routine, I wouldn't get it back. He was like, if I didn't keep up my summer routine of learning, right, how to condition my body and create good habits and keep my habits going, he's like, the moment I stop, I won't play basketball anymore. He's like, I won't get it back. These are champions that understand how important their success habits are. If they continue to do these things, they continue to breed success. When they stop doing these things, it's very easy for all of that stuff to go away. So for us being champions, designing our ideal life, what are the habits in your life? What are the active habits that Robert Greene was talking about that are growing you, that are taking you to a higher level of consciousness, that are changing some of the ways that you think about things in order for you to get to the life that you want? We have to be able to address these habits. We have to be able to look at ourselves, turn the mirror, right? Like, well, mirrors don't, right? You know what I mean, right? Look at yourself in the mirror type of thing, right? Turn it on yourself, take a look and be like, man, what habits are serving me? What habits are not serving me? What are the passive habits that I'm just conditioned to do every day? I just always at this time, at this day, right? This, find myself here, whether that's a TV show, whether that's a place that you're eating, whether that's who you're talking to, whatever those passive habits are, whenever it's you choose to jump on the phone on social media and start scrolling, these are passive habits that we've put into our day. How do we add some active habits? What are the active habits you need to add? Ask yourself that question. What are the things you need to add? What are the things that are going to help you? I'm doing this personally, right? Again, remember, whenever I give you some of this stuff, it's because I'm working on the same things. Might just be a little bit further ahead. I might have been doing it a little bit longer, but I work on the exact same things. One of the active habits I'm getting back into is reading physical books. I've spent the last year or so, maybe 2 years, doing audiobooks. I'd pick up a book here and there, but really it was the audiobook side. But an active habit is I wanted to take time away now to make sure I'm adding in the act of actually sitting down in a quiet space and reading. Normally, when I listen to audiobooks, I do it at the gym. I do it when I'm driving. Like I'm doing something else. But I want to be able to create a habit of taking this time, taking this 30 minutes to pick up the book and actually sit down and read the book. That's an active habit. It's something active. I'm taking away from maybe some of the passive things and adding something active. What areas of your life do you need to do that? What areas of your life do you say, you know what, I need to stop this side of it and pick up this side? You got to answer that for yourself. You got to answer that for yourself. There's a poem. This is the other piece of content I wanted to share with you. There's a poem that my wife loves that we have around the house that we talk about here and there. It's the habit poem. Here's what it says. It says, I'm your constant companion. I'm your greatest helper or heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. Half of the things you do, you might as well turn over to me and I will do them quickly and correctly. I'm easily managed. You must be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I'm the servant of great people, and alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, though. I work with the precision of a machine plus the intelligence of a person. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? I am habit. That's how powerful a habit is. It depends what side we choose to lean into when it comes to this habit. You may run me for profit, or you could run me for ruin. It doesn't matter. Habits are going to listen. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Doesn't know the difference. So we have to reprogram our minds, ladies and gentlemen. We have to reprogram our minds so that we are getting out of, we are having habits that are helping us get to the life that we want, that we're getting out of life everything that we want because we're a product of our habits. Robert Greene in there talks something about the difference between pleasure and discipline, how our brains are wired to think that the pleasurable things are the easiest things or the relaxing things or the escapism things. Our brain is wired to do that. We have to unlearn that and rewire our brain to know that discipline, accomplishment, achieving, right? Like you understand, right? I've lost the word, but those are the things that are actually going to bring us the pleasure. It's not the instant gratification things. It's not the quick dopamine hits. That's what we're training our brain to do, right? I preach about social media all the time from a business standpoint, but these are the downsides of social media. As much as I preach like, hey, you guys need to be on it and we need to build and all that stuff, true. But the downsides of it is these small dopamine hits that we've conditioned ourselves to have over years and years of time, if we use these platforms, lulls us to sleep in passive habits. And we have to learn how to get back the other side of things. Ladies and gentlemen, this habits conversation is possibly one of the biggest things to pay attention to in your journey to success. Success in any area. You hear me say it all the time. Success in any area. Financial success comes down to your financial habits. Financial success comes down to your financial habits. Like that's just, it's the truth, right? I think I saw this somewhere. Oh gosh, I'm trying to pull it. Okay. I wrote this. Matter of fact, I think I have this piece of content on YouTube, but I put like, these are some of the money habits that keep people poor because they're habits, right? The habits of not paying yourself first, the habits of partaking in like the fear of missing out, keeping up with the Joneses, right? The habit of not getting around people outside of your socioeconomic group or outside of your financial level. The habit of not having goals, not setting goals, right? The habit of not understanding what you actually want money for. Like these are habits. These are habits. These aren't things, like these are just things that we can change. Those are habits in your finances. What about, right, habits in your health? Right? Habits in your health. There's what you consume with your mouth, right? And then like how you move your body. These are the simple parts of getting to wherever you want to be in life, right? You got to understand from a health standpoint, there's no magical pill or any of those things. The two things you can control is what you consume, like what you put in your mouth, and how often you move your body. And your habits of what you've put in your mouth and how often you've moved your body has created whatever health situation you're in. The more you're aware of what you consume, the more you're aware of how you move your body, the more you will get to whatever health state that you want to be in. But those are habits. Those are habits. Habits in your relationship, habits in your faith life. How often are you in devotion? How often are you reading the word? How often are you around right? Other people, other believers, or other people of your faith. Like, how often are you doing those things? Everything we do is habit. Back to the video of the guy saying, hey, 98% of our day is run by habits. 98% of what we're thinking, it's run by habit. So we have to be able to change that side of things if we want to be able to make some changes. The action step for today says make a list of the 5 habits that could lift you to a higher levels of success and fulfillment. Just 5 habits, right? Write them down. Again, what I start this call off with, we all know what to do. If you don't, tons of information out there. There's a great website out there. Write it down if you don't know it. Spell it out for you. Spelled Google. Google, right? If you got some information you don't know, there's a great site for you. Go there. You'll find the information. There'll be hundreds of thousands of entries to figure out what you need. So it's not an information thing. We're way past that. It's not an information thing. It's just a doing thing. Just actually saying, okay, well, if these are the things that I need to pay attention to, what do I need to do to change these habits? Robert Greene gave you a little bit baby steps. Try to remove a couple passive, add a couple active in there, and watch how things happen. It says after that, it says now select the single habit that would have the most impact and make a commitment to make that a part of your life. Remember, it takes an average of 3 to 4 weeks to form a new habit, whether it be positive or negative. No matter what it is you're trying to get to, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you're trying to go, no matter whether it's your faith life, your financial life, your business life, your health life, your relationships, any of the stuff, you got to identify the habits that are no longer serving you in that area, and you have to add in, right? We add in a good habit or better habits that we can then practice. It's a practice. It's a daily practice that you are working on every day in order to design the life that you want. But we are all a product of our habits. I want you to understand that. Every single one of us is a product of our habits, both good and bad. The question is, are the habits that we exhibit the 98% of the time, is it helping us get to where we want to go? Is it keeping us where we are? If you feel like you're in a rut and it's keeping you where you are, we got to then start to identify what are the habits we need to change. They could be real small things, or they could be major things that you know. But regardless, we got to make that happen. That's how we get to the life that we don't need a break from, ladies and gentlemen. I love y'all. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. But we got to focus on little things like our habits. Like, what are we doing on a daily basis that we're either conscious of or unconscious of that's keeping us where we are, that's keeping our money where it is, that's keeping our emotional state where it is? What do we need to change? What do we need to add in? If we can just be mindful of that and focus on that, you can watch your life change, y'all. Because it's too crowded down here at the bottom. It's time to get to the top of this thing. I love y'all. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend. Do something that scares you. Do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Most importantly, do something that changes or adds a better habit into your life to get to where you want to go. Love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday.